de sen içince bitmiyor ki biri var, biri var, biri var.
Hi there. This is Tony Barton on Watch Kansas, and at the time of this recording, there are 24 days left until what I believe is the most important election of our lifetime. This episode, I want to hit on something that has been bothering me for some time now, as I have observed this cultural shift taking place. It seems that everyone, from the media, actors, musicians, entertainers, professional athletes, sports organizations, corporations, businesses, everyday people, and politicians, everyone, it seems, has bent the knee at the altar of Black Lives Matter. In some ways, it's not surprising. The left has always supported radical people and organizations. What I do find surprising, as well as concerning, is the fact that Christians, God's people, many have also bent the knee at the altar of Black Lives Matter. It's shocking to me. It's a bit confusing and begs the question, Christians, do you not realize Marxism, socialism, communism, and Christianity don't mix? Like oil and water, there are a number of reasons why Christianity and these three will never ever fuse. But for this episode, I'm only going to talk about three of the most important. The first is God, capital G, is totally and completely eliminated from society. God cannot exist within its tyrannical structure because you cannot have an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present God above the state. God is removed and the state becomes God. From an article entitled, "What Americans Must Know About Socialism," it says this concerning Karl Marx, the father of Marxism. Christian theology, with its idea of a fixed human nature, basically man is fallen and fallible, this infuriated Marx, who was not just an atheist, but a God hater, who denounced religion as the opium of the people. His disciples, led by Lenin, always targeted the churches when they came to power. They initiated, without apology, a campaign of terror, shutting down churches, executing priests and bishops, and violating nuns. The horrors were justified as part of the class cleansing Marx envisioned. Keep in mind, BLM founder Patrice Collier said unequivocally that she and other founders were trained organizers and trained Marxists. They do not hold a belief in the Christian God. In fact, they practice something entirely different. And that will be my third point, so please hang in there. For now, explain how a Christian can give their allegiance to this godless Marxist organization and yet at the same time claim allegiance to God. How? It has already been said that churches should be burned down because they represent white supremacy. If ever this movement gains ground and eventually takes over, how do you expect it to work out for you? 2, BLM is more about the collective than the individual. This is the dirty secret of the Marxist movement. Individual rights don't matter. The fact that we as individuals have rights given to us by our Creator, certain inalienable rights, among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, doesn't matter. The individual freedoms under the Constitution cease to exist. The right to property, to bear arms, to speak freely, all gone. There is no concern about the individual person, and go against the collective and its message at your own peril. And there's plenty of video footage showing that. One more thing. Jesus Christ is concerned about the individual person. He came to die for the sins of all mankind. And it is the individual person that makes the decision to follow him and live their life to honor him. Now, if those things are not disturbing enough, listen to this. In an article entitled, "Black Lives Matter is Ushering in a New Religion," Caitlin Richardson reports the following. If the obsessive and unquestioning holding to social justice doctrine or pious bending of the knee in tribute to Black Lives Matter all seems faintly cultish to you, recent statements from Black Lives Matter leaders confirm you were probably on the right track. Spirituality is at the center of Black Lives Matter. If I didn't do that, it would be antithetical to this work, said BLM co-founder Patrice Colliers in a June 13th conversation. Melina Abdullah, professor of Pan-African Studies at California State University and founder of BLM Los Angeles, responds to Collier's statement with more insight into the spiritual nature of the movement. She says, "We become very intimate with the spirits we call on." What kind of spirits are they calling on? The dead, of course. When they ask you to say their name, it's not just an innocent way to honor their tragic loss of life. According to Colliers, they're chanting those names to summon their spirits. When we speak their names, we invoke that spirit, and those spirits actually become present, she says. Even the most basic practices are infused with this religious belief, even their use of social media. The hashtag is way more than just a hashtag. It is literally almost resurrecting a spirit so they can work through us. Though the new spirituality rising out of the Black Lives Matter movement hasn't got much attention, it is, by the co-founders' own words, at the core of what they do, even if not recognized. Hiba Faraj, Assistant Director of Research at the USC Center for Religion and Civic Culture, writes this in an article for the Berkeley Center. The movement for Black Lives works towards the goal of not just racial justice, but freedom of the mind and the spirit. It encourages healing justice so that people can heal from trauma and engage as the best version of themselves. The movement infuses a syncretic blend of African and indigenous cultures, spiritual practices, and beliefs, embracing ancestor worship, Ifa-based rituals such as chanting, dancing, and summoning deities, and healing practices such as acupuncture, Reiki, therapeutic massage, and plant medicine. Do you still think BLM and God can be fused together? Still think Christians should align themselves with Black Lives Matter? Here's a final quote from the article. Aside from the fact that they've openly stated that they are trained Marxists, their premise is entirely grounded in storytelling and not facts, that they routinely undermine their claims to protect Black lives by supporting practices like abortion that kill human life, that they actively support dismantling the nuclear family, structures that are statistically proven to reduce crime and poverty, that their proposed solutions have no definitive measurements. Aside from all that, they add to their growing list of red flags the practice of idolatry. I'm reminded of a story about another idol, a story about a king who built a 90-foot statue, an idol. Upon completion, he demanded that everyone, government officials, athletes, entertainers, business owners, everyone, that when the music started, they were to bow before the altar, bend their knee before the idol. The announcement was made, the music blared, then everyone bent their knee before the idol. Everyone except three who didn't bow. Only three that said, "We will not bend a knee, we will not bow and worship at the image you have set up." The story goes on to an incredible conclusion, but here these three refused to be intimidated, coerced. They refused to kneel. Personally, I'd rather be numbered with the few who don't kneel at the altar of BLM than the many who have. Does this mean that I think Black lives don't matter? Of course not. In contrast to the messages, actions, violence, destruction, religion of Black Lives Matter, in God's eyes, all lives matter, and He wants none to perish. Maybe that is the message we need to share. If you knelt, stand up. If you're standing, remain standing. And until next time, be courageous.
Earth to God, come in, God. I know you're there, hearing our prayers wherever you are. We need you now to send your love down. Take away the pain in your holy name. We ask this now. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made, and save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God, we're holding on, but not for long. Can you pull us all close to the Holy Ghost and keep us strong? We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made, and save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God, earth to God, earth to God, earth to God, earth to God. Come in, God, earth to God, come in, God, earth to God, earth to God, come in, God, come in, God, earth to God, earth to God, come in, God, come in, God. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made, and save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God.